And thank you very much for being here. As you know, in this class, we are going to discuss about Virginia Woolf's essay, A Room of One's Own. I'm sure you know the central argument. Let's do this again. So, for your convenience, I have divided the class into four parts. We start with Virginia Woolf, which is nothing but a repetition of what I told you in the class of Mrs. Dalloway. So I'm not reading it again since you know it already. Now we go on to the contextual background of this essay. You know, this essay was written in 1928 and published in 1929. And this is based on two lectures she presented at Cambridge University's two female colleges. And remember, this was a major change happening at the time of feminism, especially post World War One, and women's right. At that time, women were given the right to vote, and in many countries. Okay, so in this essay, she is concerned about what is the role of women or women's place in literary history, and also know that this essay is divided into 6 parts. And if you look at the central theme, there are 3 themes which she discusses about this. The first one is the need for intellectual freedom and financial independence for women. The second one is gender and fiction. And third one is angel in the house. That is how women are wanted to be in the society. So the first thing is her central argument is that women must have money and her room of her own. That means to write a fiction. In other words, she needs money, financial independence, and she must needs privacy also. So that is a central thing she says. And she says in a patriarchal society, women's intellectual endeavors have been undervalued and suppressed. And she says that women writers face a lot of societal barriers that their male counterparts do not. So that is the first point she says. Then she speaks about gender and fiction in this part. Let's see. She says, that why women are absent in the literary canon for centuries. Then she creates the hypothetical character of Shakespeare's sister, which is Judith Shakespeare, and the kind of gender discrimination she had to undergo if she had born and raised at the time of Shakespeare. And she also she says that this is a point which feminism had what you may call later disagreed on. That is, good writers, the best writers are androgynous in their minds. That is, there is an element of both men, male and female in their psychology. They transcend gender limitations. Actually, that area feminists later argued against Virginia Woolf. And the next concept is angel in the house, which is nothing but societal expectations on a woman. That is, she's an angel. Angel is a reference to a poem which is Coventry Patmore. Coventry Patmore, just note it. And this an angel, who is she? She is a self-sacrificing, silent, supportive, and ideal Victorian woman. And she says that we had to kill that angel in order to write and assert our own identity. And she speaks of the societal pressures women face and the necessity of rejecting these norms to create original works. So those are the most powerful key themes. Now we look at the summary of this essay. Remember, I have divided it into 11 points. Remember, this essay, as I told you, is written as giving a lecture to women scholars and fiction. And she says that the first point, we need money and room to write our own. Then here she adopts an unnamed narrator representing every woman to share their experience. And this fictional university name is also very important. It is named as Oxbridge. Okay, you imagine this Cambridge and Oxford together. And this woman enters, the fictional narrator enters into the university. And to her surprise, she finds that she has been barred from entering some areas. And she goes to a male lunch party, and also what you may call women's Fernham, that is a canteen, where in the lunch party men were having intellectual discourse, whereas in the canteen she finds they were having simple gossipy dinner. So ultimately she says that look at the intellectual disparities. That is, she's not allowed to enter the men's lunch party. Had she entered, she could have learned or participated in the intellectual activities, but she's denied there, so she has to go to the canteen where she could only get exposed to these gossips. Okay, so that is she says. Then she visits a British library, and she noticed that most of the writers are masculine, and literature is all about men, and she gets very anchor and curious. Then she says that now she makes an important point is that men, especially in literature, men use literature to affirm female inferiority, to protect their own superiority. So then she speaks about the hypothetical character, which is Judith Shakespeare. And she's a hypothetical sister, remember, and must have been a potential genius like Shakespeare, but were not given an opportunity and must have driven to suicide due to societal constraints. Then she observes how women are able to now able to write and discuss history of women, and she acknowledges that most literature by women is bitter and twisted because they cannot unable to transcend the constraints imposed by the society. So by the end, she says that women to write and create a legacy for future generation, and she asserts that literature serves the common good and encourage her audience to bring characters like Judith Shakespeare's into light, which done by later writers. And there are 5 characters discussed. One is Virginia Woolf. Okay, basically she's the one who gives the lecture. So she's not a character. So she creates what you may call an imaginary character. And this character, she starts saying that call me Mary Betton, Mary Seton, Mary Carmichael, or by any name, please. In the reference, I will tell you who are the 4 Marys. And she creates the hypothetical character, Judith Shakespeare, and she knows that could not have achieved success due to society. Then Mary Betton, she's narrator's aunt, and actually after her death, the narrator got some money, some 500 pounds per year, which she could able to live. Without money, she says you cannot produce creative things. And the last one is Mary Carmichael, and she's again an imaginary author, created imaginary author in the book Life's Adventure. Just note that Life's Adventure, which the narrator reads and criticizes for its broken sentences and failed to emulate a master sentence like Jane Austen. Okay, so she says that she's not criticizing in that sense. She says that Mary Carmichael is a character also expresses the lesbianism, confession of lesbianism in fiction. So these are the 5 characters. And the reference for Marys, actually remember, it's inspired by 4 ladies in the waiting room of Queen of Scots. Just note that point, Queen of Scots, from the popular rhyme that was written. So these are the things she says about, in a nutshell, about a room of one's own. So there is an MCQ, is a lengthy MCQ, which will help you to get the point that may be asked. So thank you very much for being such a wonderful student and staying till the end and listening. I will see you in the next class. Until then, take care and study hard. Bye-bye.